All right, ladies, welcome to Mindful Attraction 2.0. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about the top 4 signs he's a psycho. And we're going to be using Joffrey Lannister. I think so, right? Yeah, Joffrey, in order to analyze the signs of someone who's crazy, who's toxic, and who's not good for you. All right. I mean, a lot of times, a lot of women miss these signs because they're just so wound up in their own emotions and that they miss these obvious signs that's obvious to anyone but you. Emotions tends to blind us from the truth. All right. So, for those who don't know, if you guys want to watch my previous breakdown, I have a previous breakdown about Sansa and Margaret from Game of Thrones. You can watch it. It's about the difference between a needy woman and a confident woman and all that stuff like that. And also tomorrow I'm going to be doing another breakdown, but on Samantha from Sex and the City. You guys are going to love that because she's one of my favorite characters. And if you need one-on-one coaching, just go to mindfulattraction.org/in-the-game coaching, and you'll be able to see the link below. And if you want to attend my seminars, you can also see the link below where I have different dates on where I'm be holding seminars. All right. So with that being said, let's get started. All right. So we're going to be using some videos and some clips. I showed some of these clips yesterday, but because they're so all around, I'm gonna show one of them again, including a new one. Actually, both of them are the same ones, but I'm gonna be bringing you guys a different insight based on those videos. All right. So let's get started. So the first sign is he constantly needs control. All right. So let's watch this. Look, and mind you, the reason why some guys need control is because of their lack of control that they have on their own emotions. All right. So let's just watch this now. I'm gonna give you an explanation.
Killed a few puppies today.
Show him. Come on, show him. Oh.
Asshole.
Apologies, my lord. Old fingers. Rosalind caught a fine fat trout. Her brother's
He's so sadistic.
Wolf pelts for her wedding. Signed, Walder Frey.
Look at his face.
Is that bad poetry, or is it supposed to mean something?
Robb Stark is dead. And his bitch mother. Write back to Lord Frey. Thank him for his service and command him to send Robb Stark's head. I'm going to serve it to Sansa at my wedding feast.
Your Grace, Lady Sansa is your aunt by marriage.
A joke? Joffrey did not mean it.
Yes, I did. I'm going to have it served to Sansa at my wedding feast.
No. She is no longer yours to torment.
Everyone is mine to torment.
You see, and that's a problem. Is that men who lack control of their lives will always try to control other people's lives. You see, and the funny thing is that those type of men only do it to those who are close to them because they know they'll always be there. And the even crazier is that their power grows when they know that you have no other place to go. You see, it's kind of like a pleasure to them. So if you're noticing that he consistently is always trying to control every aspect of your life, where you go, who you talk to, how things should be clean, how things should be done in the house, just consistently needed to control every aspect of life. That's one thing you have to watch out for. You see, because it seems like they're in order for them to feel good, they need to control things. And the problem is that feeling control, people don't like to feel control. So that it means that they're always in conflict with people in their lives. Not people in the peripheral like their friends, but they're people who are closest to them. And that's why they hurt those who are closest, because they know that they cannot leave. Friends can leave, but family members, for the most part, or even spouses, especially when you guys are in a relationship or have children, it's very difficult to leave because of logistic and circumstantial there is a pleasure that they derive from that, from the fact that there's nothing you could do about it, but they continue to do so. But the problem is that the reason why people stay with these kind of guys is because they show one side, but then they show another side. You see, and that's what, and we're gonna be talking about it later on in the next in the next video. I mean, not in the next video, but in the next 2 different points I'm gonna be coming across. That's the first thing. If he consistently needs to control everything, I'm the man of the house. I control this house. So you gotta be watch out for that. Just notice how they are in their lives. Notice how they control things in their lives. And so you want to watch out for this so that you're not blind to when that happens to you. You're not blind and you're alert. It's not about thinking that every guy is like this, but just be aware that people that just because he just shows little signs of manipulation, like asking you where you are, and you think that's kind of cute. Just be aware that might be something that's rooted within himself, that he needs to consistently know how things are. Like I have some people who I know who need to know where their girlfriends are on a consistent basis, who track her on her phone, and the girl finds it normal. That's not fucking normal. That's a sign of a cycle. Anyways, let's keep watching. The next point we're gonna be talking is emotional outburst. Let's watch.
You do well to remember that.
The emotional outburst comes when things don't go their way, and this is where the violence and the toxicity arises. Because if you don't do what they say, then there's emotional violence, verbal, even physical, right? Because they're in constant conflict with life. Things need to go their way in order for them to be happy. All right, keep watching.
Monster.
Oh, I'm a monster. Perhaps you should speak to me more softly then. Monsters are dangerous, and just now kings are dying like flies.
He's in fear. It's because he's fearful of life. Look at that. All the fear.
Have your tongue out for saying that.
Let him make his threats. He's a bitter little man.
Lord Tyrion should apologize.
Look at it. Just notice the way he's panting. So much anger inside.
Disrespectful and in
see?
very bad taste.
Lack of control of one's emotions.
King! I will punish you.
Any man who must say, I am the king, is no true king. I'll make sure you understand that when I've won your war for you.
My father won the real war. He killed Prince Rhaegar. He took the crown while you hid on a costly rock.
These kind of guys will, because of their emotional outbursts, will say things to you that hurt, will find the things that provide the most pain and will give it to you in order for them to feel better about themselves. But in reality, what's going on is not that you are a bad person, but that they have so much pain inside that they don't know how to manage it. Do you notice how he was panting, right? And you notice how his mom was trying to help him, give him some comfort, but he never learned how to find comfort in physical contact and people being around him and comforting him. The only way for him to feel better is to lash out with anger, see people in pain, provide displeasure to others. All right. And those sudden emotional outbursts, like of consistently being angry, right, is not normal. See, if you think that's normal, then you've just been around the wrong people. Let's keep watching. Yeah, kind of awkward. He's a child,
The king
yo.
is tired. See him to his chambers.
Come along.
Tired.
We have so much to celebrate. A wedding to plan. You must rest.
See all that anger.
Grand Maester, perhaps some essence of nightshade to help him.
I'm not tired.
I'm not tired.
Come.
And if you get with those kind of guys, they're gonna use you as their vessel of relief. And the thing is that when they become comfortable with you, when you get comfortable with them, when you trust them, and open your heart, or even worse, become committed to them to the point of dependability, and you don't have that much independence because you depend on them because you have kids and whatnot, they change and they begin to use you as their way to feel better. Their friends may not see it. It's not because of being a hypocrite, but because you just became that person. You're there, so it's why not use you? You see, and the problem is that a lot of people are used to that. They think that's normal, but that's not normal. That's fucking weird. And you got to get away from guys like that. If you're noticing that, even if before you guys in a relationship, you're noticing that he just has a lot of bottled up anger. It's very intense and shit, right? You just keep an eye on that. Just be aware. Be aware. All right. So the next, again, I'm kind of fucked up on that one, right? So the next one is, let me see. Constantly apologizing for his mistakes. Okay, so this goes along with what I talked about yesterday, but I feel like it does apply to this. All right, so let's watch this. And this scene was from the one that I showed yesterday.
Prince, my lady, I fear I've behaved monstrously the past few weeks.
Of course you did. Look at his eyes, so sincere. Oh, he's giving her a gift. Oh, he must be so sweet. Look at her. She's letting that get to her. That's you see, guys would do this where they'll fuck up, right? And they know that if they just do this and do that, they could get away with it. You see, for example, it's kind of like women who hit guys. They know that the guys cannot hit them back, and so they do that. But if they know that the guy's a fucking psycho, and that if you hit him, he'll hit you back, guess what? They will not hit him. And so when a guy knows that nothing will happen, all he has to do is just say this or that in order to make you feel better. He'll do whatever he wants. He'll hurt you as much as he wants, and you'll just keep taking it. Because you either A, you depend on him and you just want, and you're willing to believe anything because you have no other choice, like her, or you have low self-esteem. You see? Let's keep watching.
It's beautiful. Like the one your mother wears.
You'll be queen someday. It's only fitting you should look the part.
He's giving her the fantasy in order for her to forget about all the evil shit he did. So it's divert her attention from the evil to the good.
Forgive me for my rudeness.
Rudeness?
There's nothing to forgive.
Bitch, you crazy.
You're my lady.
Get the fuck out of here.
One day we'll be married and throne room.
Okay.
Lords and ladies from all over the seven
Oh,
kingdoms.
she's getting food.
From the last
Don't-
hearth in the north.
Oh, shut the fuck
To the
up.
salt shore in the south.
How the hell could he be so versed?
And you will be queen over all of them.
That's how they get you, man. Give you fantasy. Look at her. She's like, bullshit.
Never disrespect you again. I'll never be cruel to you again. Do you understand me?
No, don't understand though.
You're my lady now.
Words, man, words. Don't let
From this day
words are so cheap.
until my last day.
And now he finishes with a kiss. You see, and the problem there is that he's developing a pattern wherein when the next time he fucks up, you know what she's gonna think? She's gonna be like, oh, he's mean, yeah, he tortures the babies, but he's a nice guy. You know, you're trying to rationalize your decision in order to preserve yourself and your self-esteem. And so you gotta look through the veil and see things for what they are. Value a person's actions, not their words, because their actions would speak louder than words, like everyone says. So what he's doing is that he's inflicting pain, and you believe he's gonna change, like I said in the notes. But because you actually like him, you'll forgive him or try to find a redeeming quality to forgive. When he does come back, you'll accept any apologies because you wanted the stability. The issue is that by doing this, you're giving him more space and more room to infiltrate your mind. You'll have a pain-pleasure relationship with him. This kind of relationship affects your self-esteem in ways you can never imagine. So when a guy affects your positive moods and your negative moods, you know what happens? He's controlling you. And that's why I tell you, that's why I teach dark tactics, but I'm hoping you guys have benevolent intentions with them. But that's how you manipulate people. And if you have very bad intentions, malevolent, you're gonna really fuck with someone's head. All right, so that's a third thing. When the guys consistently apologize, who always be like, I'm sorry. It's kind of like at school. I used to be the one who would never listen, and I always apologize. And my teacher, Mr. Torres, he was like, you know what, Alexis, yo, he didn't say fuck this, but he almost said fuck. But the point is, he was like, you know what, I don't want to hear your apologies no more. I was like, what? Yeah, I don't want to hear no more of your apologies. You're done. And you know what happened? When I knew that he wasn't going to listen to my apologies, my behavior changed. Because it's so easy to say sorry, but it's a lot harder to actually act it out. All right, so the next thing is, and the last one, which I don't have a video on this, is when a guy acts like the saint. You see, a lot of parents use saintlyhood in order to manipulate their kids, and it's a form of manipulation. All right, I don't give a fuck what you tell me. But when you try to show your good sides but hide your bad sides in order to get the person to change, that's a form of manipulation. You see, so for example, it's kind of like I'll act like I have moral standards, or like I don't know, like you know how parents act like parents who tell their kids not to smoke weed, but they smoked weed. So because of that, they think that if they did smoke weed, telling their kids that they didn't will help them change. Quite the contrary. If you stop acting like a saint, you're gonna be able to influence the kid from a positive aspect, which is without using guilt and shame. The problem is that when the guys act like the saint, what they do is they have a high moral standards and look down upon you. That's a way for them to exalt themselves and feel better because they don't want to feel inferior. But also, it's a way to manipulate you because now you're living up to a standard that even the person doesn't meet. So he uses guilt and shame in order to change your behavior. You see, so as a result, this person's standards leads you to change your behavior for his sake so that you don't disappoint him, especially if you depend on him. So if you notice that he just acts like he's perfect, his shit don't stink, You know, he's consistently criticizing people, saying how bad he is, how people these days aren't this or that. I'm not saying that that's toxic, but I'm saying that is that if that behavior becomes intensified, from which he tries to force those standards on you of him being the saint, him cleaning the dishes but you don't clean the dishes, him doing this but you don't do that, like just acting like a fucking saint. Like I gotta keep bringing that up because this is a huge problem. This happens a lot. Then he's gonna easily manipulate you. So if you notice that you feel guilt and shame about some things that you do in front of him, then you gotta watch out because that you might be manipulated. You see what I'm saying? And so yeah, this is pretty much it. So the first one is guys who consistently need to control every aspect of the life, who have an unhealthy sense of entitlement. The second is when they have emotional outbursts, when they just get angry for no reason and they just don't react to the situation, but rather they just have anger inside and they burst that out, right? The second one is when they consistently apologize for their behavior but never change their behavior. And the last one is when guys act like the saint. If you notice that he just has high moral standards, that he doesn't meet up to those standards. So when you see these signs, I'm not telling you to run away from them, but keep an open eye. Keep an open eye and keep an open mind to walk out if things go wrong. Because guys like that, unfortunately, most of them, they never change. Most people never change. See what I'm saying? Anyways, this is Alex from Mindful Attraction 2.0. Tomorrow I'm going to be making the next video. It's going to be about Samantha. I'm going to be enjoying that one because Samantha from Sex and the City is one of my favorite characters on TV. So it's going to be more about sexuality, how to be free sexually, how to have that sexual confidence. All right. If you guys want me to make other breakdowns, comment on the link below, man. Also, I'm going to be putting also my new podcast where you'll see. I'm not going to ruin the surprise. Anyways, take care and have a good day. Bye-bye.